Hey yo, what's up guys? Today we're going to be recording another UF video. Today I kind of wanted to... Wait, how long has it been since I made a UF video? Oh. Well, better late than never, right?
Okay, back with my other voice. Today I am going to be talking about a certain announcement based on message by CLXR, also known as the owner of UF, who has come to address the future of Ultimate Football, and what they plan to do. Let us break it down and see how I feel about it. Hello everyone. We have some exciting news to share with you all. Over the last 10 years, PHJ and I have been creating Roblox football games for all of you in our community. I started making Roblox games when I was just 13 years old and have been making games non-stop since then. What started as a hobby quickly became a full-time job for both of us. We've been working on UF for the last 4 years, and it has been a huge success in so many ways for us. We've met so many lifelong friends from it along the way. First off, I do kind of agree with the fact that it has been one of the more popular Roblox football games, especially during Ultimate Football's release. However, as of currently making this video, Football Fusion has been having more active players than UF is. Which is funny because people say that UF is objectively a better game. Regardless of your opinion on if it is or isn't the better game, having less active players than Football Fusion 2 isn't the best look for UF to help their case. Oh, and in case you want more evidence, the journey with Ultimate Football has been amazing, but as a team, we discussed the best ways to achieve our ambitious goals for the game and realized we can't accomplish them alone. This led to us looking for a partner to help us continue to improve Ultimate Football. We are super excited to share that we have taken the opportunity to partner with Voldex to take Ultimate Football to new heights. We are actively building a larger team, which includes all of us that you already know, to work on Ultimate Football. Okay, so me personally, I don't really mind this change. Actually, I kind of like it. UF has been lacking any meaningful updates as of recently, and the base gameplay has been getting stale since it is mostly the same as it was in FBU. Hopefully in the future there could be more gameplay changes to make the game much more competitive and balanced compared to what it is right now. Because right now it could really use a slight overhaul to the game's mechanics, or at the very least, add new mechanics while keeping the old ones mostly the same, and balance changes along with it. I want to emphasize to you all that we are still committed to working on Ultimate Football with the Voldex team. We have so much love and passion for this game and this community. We are sticking around with you guys for the long term. Here's what you can look forward to. Alright, as a heads up, this is what I'm going to talk about most here, since I want to break down what the state of UF is. Unfortunately for all you innocent little kids out there watching this won't be all sunshine and rainbows, so be warned. A bigger team to work on updates, more artists, developers, testers, to make more frequent and better updates. As I have stated before, UF really hasn't had any significant updates as of recently. Heck, the only thing they really added that is considered new is cosmetics. Cosmetics aren't a bad thing, and I'm always fine with new cosmetic items. They shouldn't be the only focus of any update, or season in UF's case. At least for other games with a season pass, they at least have some other new content, balance changes, and quality of life changes to go along with it to make each update a bit more complete and meaningful. If you want to know the last significant update they had, it was around the end of September when they implemented practice mode, and a new park map, which is the one we know today. I will talk more about park later on, but park mode's release was definitely one of the moments where UF spiked in popularity again. Official integrations with real world brands you know and love, apparel, items, fun events, and so on. As I have stated before, cosmetics are not a bad thing for the game. Heck, I actually do like skins and cosmetics, considering B-More is my favorite skin in League of Legends, and is partly my mascot for the channel. However, please do not pull an FBU or Overwatch 1, to where all they mostly released was cosmetics, and practically nothing else, as updates for long periods of time. I don't really have much else to add that I haven't said already, so I will go on to the next part. Maintaining the same feel of the game, while introducing fresh ideas and continuing to improve. Okay, this is the part where UF really falters for me on this point. Yes, I agree that the game has a similar feel to what it was in FBU, but what did they add to make the game feel new and refreshing besides saying the game looks prettier? New cosmetics don't really mean anything to the base gameplay. Fake field goals and punts are just telling your opponents they are going for it on 4th down without telling them they are going for it on 4th down. And it's even more scarce in leagues to where it's mostly limited to 1 per half, or straight up banned entirely. Blocking punts are even more scarce, and is going to basically be near non-existent the longer UF is still a playable game. Then we have the dots. What are the dots, you might add? They basically provide a speed boost to the offensive players if they stand on them. Wow. Surely that means that every offensive position is gonna be buffed equally, right?
Good guess, but actually no.
The main problem is that the wide receivers benefit the most from it. Why is that a problem, you may add? That is mostly because wide receiver is quite literally the most used and arguably the most over-centralized position in the entire game. The problem with offensive line is that these dots take you out of shift lock, so you would waste more of the speed boost trying to put yourself back to shift lock when the ball is snapped. Shift lock is very advantageous to use for offensive line, and the dots just low-key hinders them more than it actually helps them. And even if running back was given this buff the same as everyone else, it's still pretty freaking garbage with almost literally no usage in actual leagues. I know what someone is gonna say, but it was just used in AFL, and it worked out for them, so that means I am clearly making stuff up, and running back was secretly good this whole time?
No.
There are so many problems with this way of thinking. One is that these sorts of things exist in game balance. Just because a low tier character in a fighting game wins a game in a tournament, that doesn't mean the low tier character isn't low tier and is somehow secretly good this whole time. The key word with what makes something good is consistency. If something consistently gets good results, it is very likely that it is very good. Running back by no means fits this concept since it is hardly ever used. If I was being honest, Bastion from Overwatch 1 is quite literally in the same position as running back from UF. Characters with bottom of the barrel pick rates while also having significantly bad results most of the time. The only difference is that Bastion got reworked in Overwatch 2 because he was viewed as a troll pick back in Overwatch 1. Currently, as of right now, his pick and win rate is far better compared to where it was in Overwatch 1. Wow, it's almost like their viability affects their popularity in games with multiple playstyles. And before you ask, no, this isn't photoshopped. He is quite literally an actually decent character in Overwatch 2 because of his rework. Heck, Aurelion Sol from League of Legends got reworked due to him being clunky to play and overall unpopular. He quickly became one of the lowest picked characters in the entire game, to a now actually enjoyable to play character. Enjoyable enough to where he currently had the opportunity of being given a legendary skin, only given to champions that are popular in terms of gameplay.
It must mean that despite the issues some people had with his CGU, it was a massive success and boosted his popularity to such a degree that Riot felt justified in giving him that oh so prestigious legendary.
The other argument about these kinds of things is, what do you do to even change these kinds of positions? There isn't anything we can do to change it without changing the entire game. Even though that is ironic since I guess that doesn't apply to wide receiver for some reason. Because outside of the dots, what do you even do to change wide receiver? Everyone has the same jump height, diving, and catch hitbox, so how do you even change it? It is quite obvious that if running back or any other position had the same viability as wide receiver, it would be far more popular than it actually is right now. However, it wouldn't by any means kill passing or make it any less viable.
Oh yeah? You try making a Roblox football game where running back can coexist with wide receivers without handoffs being overly dominant.
You are correct. I can't do that. I wouldn't even want to do that. Nor would I even need to. Because Gridiron Football 2 already freaking did it. Wait, Gridiron Football 2? Are you serious? You mean the game that forces you to hit the gym to get good stats to play? The game that shoehorns a game pass to make the process faster with other pay-to-win game passes, And the same game that has a bug that not even the devs themselves can fix?
Yes!
I learned when streaming it that handoffs actually have a purpose in the game. And there are benefits to actually using it, which is why it is now very practical in leagues to this day. Players in UF celebrate the hype of a running back getting one touchdown after 6 or 7 years and still counting of it being bad. Gridiron Football 2 on the other hand has handoff plays which much greater hype, and is often seen like it's an everyday thing for them. And before you ask, yes, handoffs are used several times in league games from a variety of teams. Ironically, the amount of handoffs used in one game has better usage than FBU and UF's entire lifespan. My point is that positions like offensive line and running back weren't ever really given a fair chance to actually be viable and were just set aside because of their issues. That is like feeding your child McDonald's every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then wondering why your kid has diabetes. And instead of treating them, supporting them, and making sure they are as healthy as they possibly could be, you instead just abandon them in the middle of the forest to rot for the rest of their lives. And let's not pretend that nobody but me wants these changes. I have talked to quite literally multiple competitive players on this subject and even a couple content creators, and they all said that they would be fine with running back being an actual position for the game. Game balance problems aside, some people argue that practice mode and park mode are new additions to the game. However, there was already a practice mode in FBU. While park mode was a cool addition to the game, it is literally just an near-exact copy of Auto 3's. So most of the changes they made were either so obscure that it hardly makes a difference for the game, or they were just straight ripped from other things, which is a hot topic to even consider it as new content. Speaking of a hot topic, what I am about to say might make some people mad, or just straight up confused. Gridiron Football 2 is what UF should have been. Whoa, hold on. I'm mostly talking about their game balance philosophy, not as a complete carbon copy to the game itself. When looking at league games of Gridiron Football 2, the game overall feels faster than UF. The tackles are more explosive than UF. So explosive you feel like you just got it in real life. And they actually cared about competitive balance, which makes the offense far more diverse with the inclusion of handoffs, providing far more strategy to the game. Did I mention it also makes defensive line look like an actually impactful position compared to UF?
Yeah, like tell me. Like see, this is what I mean, like, defensive line actually feels impactful.
I should also mention they at least tried new things such as more complex juking mechanics, and an NPC offensive line. Even if they aren't flawless, I still give them credit for at least trying something new while trying not to make them feel like a detriment to the game. UF should have especially had this in mind, considering a majority of the community wanted both new mechanics, along with keeping the old mechanics. I should know, there was quite literally a poll for it in their own Discord server. Actually, fun fact for all of you UF zoomers out there, they actually were planning on adding new mechanics. One of the big ones being momentum. This basically meant you couldn't instantly change direction, making movement much harder. Ironically, they had a poll about it, and a majority of people actually wanted it, yet they just scrapped it, and I really don't understand why they didn't try testing it further. No Roblox football game really implemented this kind of mechanic, and it would have been huge for UF if they designed it well. I'm not saying the new mechanic was flawless, but I do wish they were willing to be creative and take bigger risks into their design choices. I know they are more than capable of doing it since UF has a ton of potential, and hasn't even achieved their 1-year anniversary of their full release as this video is out. Hopefully the partnership with Voldex can solve this issue, because it may be the key to making UF a much better game both casually and competitively. Unfortunately, I am pretty much the only content creator speaking out with all this, since everyone just makes content of playing parkour Publix. Also, I mean this with no disrespect to my fellow UF content creators, can we stop doing the I became ex-NFL player in Ultimate Football thing? It's already milked dry. Thankfully there hasn't been much of it as of recently, so I guess that's good news. Oh sorry, where was I again? Oh yes, ahem. Technical and performance improvements to the game. That is pretty typical stuff for game development, so I don't have too much to say about it. I am aware there is probably a ton of bugs with the game, so hopefully patching those with a much bigger staff will be much easier for UF. Even though I went on a pretty extensive rant moments ago, do not take any of this as an attack on UF or the developers. They are human beings like us and I wish for them to have a successful future. However, this doesn't mean I can't find faults within their game. I understand their game is still new, and I don't really know what the future holds with this partnership, but I did want to address some problems with the game that UF and Voldex can solve sooner. Signing off, I will be looking forward to what the future holds with this partnership, and hopefully this game will evolve into a masterpiece. Well, for Roblox standards in any way. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.